asking some of those questions to learn more. I want them, how much do you know about the game, but how much are you willing to learn about the game?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the Pure Playbook. I'm Dr. Dustin Boston with the athletic trainer herself, Erin Ruggieri. Great. I am in awe again. We talked about this last week. We're going to talk about it again here in a second. But St. Louis now has 2 championships.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to talk about some younger athlete relationship building and verbiage, meeting people, recruitment. We've had a lot of questions about that on the heels of the camp we went to, the softball recruiting camp, which was super awesome. Shout out to Lexi Romerill for including us in on that, bringing the Pure Athlete on site to one of the college recruitment camps here in the area. But go ahead, subscribe, give us some feedback on the podcast itself. We've got a lot of things moving and shaking. We introduced Dr. Nate. We talked about that the previous weeks. We are growing in the athlete realm, not only in the younger athletes, but in a lot of the weekend warriors, a lot of high performance people. So plenty of things going on here, which super excited about. But let's just kind of jump in. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
And so I guess, was it last week we talked about Tatum winning? So Tatum being a Chaminade graduate here in the area of St. Louis. And now him and Matthew Tkachuk went to school together. We mentioned Tkachuk last week, and now
we were foreshadowing your win. You're welcome.
So congratulations to you guys and your teams. But super cool that classmates from Chaminade win 2 different championships, or 2 different sports, win 2 different championships. And just very cool to see, and again, be a part of that as hometown heroes, bringing it back home.
Yep.
So it's been fun to watch. It's kind of the part of the year that weather-wise and racing-wise is a lot of fun. But now it's just like, okay, I get to wait till September, October for hockey to come back.
Yeah.
So one of the few sports that I still watch. I don't really keep up with a whole lot of basketball other than Tatum and following what they're doing as well as they've played. But hockey, golf, racing are my things. And so at least I get 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But the days of nightly hockey are now over. But congratulations, Florida Panthers. Florida is on a streak as a state as far as hockey championships. I was thinking somewhere Sam's signaling me 4 out of the past 5 years. But yeah, what a 10-year run, because even in a 10-year run, the Tampa Bay Lightning, there was a loss in there as well, but they were in the Stanley Cup Finals. So just wild.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Did you see the background of the Rats, why they call them Home of the Rats or whatever? Oh man, that's a whole thing too. That was they did a kind of a quick documentary on between some of the games in the series, and they explained how that came about. So you'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I will.
If you guys haven't seen that, it's kind of odd. It's like, what the heck, Panthers? I was like, oh well, they're Panthers, cat, mice. Okay, great.
Rat.
Definitely not the case. So, but. Anyway, so going back into, let's kind of jump into linking those 2 guys, going to high school from this area. Yes, it's close to home, but now let's kind of talk nationwide with these student athletes that are, all across the nation in all kinds of different sports. My eyes, I don't know about you, but my eyes were opened when we were at that camp last week at Maryville with Lexi and the Defiance Elite. It was a consistent theme where asking better questions, getting better answers. I would say one of the things that I really want to drive into kids is how to communicate and how to ask questions. They had a coach's
Like
question,
yeah.
ask us anything, like we call it
yeah.
for coaches. And once the ball got rolling, and you hear this a lot at like award ceremonies for dance or for baseball or whatever, and the team gets to say something, or the seniors get to say something about some of their teammates, and it quickly becomes the recurring
Yes.
theme. It's just the same thing with a few different words flipped for like 26 times that they have to do it.
Yeah.
So it was like, what do you look for in an outfielder? Which then is, what do you look for in an infielder? Which is then, what do you look for in a pitcher?
Yeah.
Which is, what do you look for at the plate? And it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, which, yes, valid questions. But as I'm sitting here thinking, as we're providing these resources for student athletes and their parents, and that is one of the things that I think they need to really start to learn about. I'm not going to say they need to excel in. I'm not going to sit here and bark orders or be critical of them, because I really just don't think they're taught that.
Yeah.
So as I'm sitting here watching them go around the circle, and there's a couple of them that had some pretty good questions, but then it fell into the theme of the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for that, just lesson wise, is if you know there's going to be a Q&A with potential coaches who are going to scout you, then you need to come up with the questions beforehand of what you really want to know, so that you don't resort back to what do you want from this? Because it is so easy to just be like, oh, well, everyone else will have questions.
Right.
But by you asking a question, then you're also going to get noticed by these coaches. And just asking things that are not typical. Like, make questions that you actually want to know about. Ask them about what it's like to live on campus.
Yeah.
Ask them if you have to live on campus, because some schools allow that. Some people, you have to live on campus as you're an athlete. Some people, you don't. Ask them things that aren't about sport, because yes, you're going to a school for a sport, and if you're blessed enough to get paid to go to school for your sport, but at the same time, you're going to the school for the school.
Yeah.
And so if you don't go to the campus and love the campus where you're going to be living,
Right.
then you're not going to enjoy yourself.
And it's one of the coaches beat him to it too, and they said, if you're looking to do this major, we're not the school for you.
Yeah.
So asking them, of all the athletes, what do most of your athletes major in, or what do they go to school for? So there's a lot of things that can be asked among those scenarios, but at the same time too, even if you don't know there's going to be a question and answer scenario, I would encourage you all, here's just instant action step, is whether you're a parent or you're a student athlete listening to this, is make sure the student athlete, whether it's you or you're the parent responsible, make sure they have a list of questions.
Yeah.
Like, you're never too young to start having the list of questions, or helping as a parent, helping them be like, okay, they don't have to know what they want to do. So if they're not, in that crucial 17, 18-year-old range where it's like, okay, you kind of got to pick a school.
Yeah.
I understand you want to go to, Alabama, and that's great, but this is what they are known for academically. Does that line up for you? Don't just go because, I want to Roll Tide and I want to go to Alabama and I want to be close to the beach or whatever it is, but if you're not in that crucial stage yet, there's plenty of other things that you can ask. One of the things that I thought, I was so hard not to insert myself, because it wasn't about us and it wasn't about me. So I didn't just want to include myself in, but I so bad wanted to ask a question to just kind of set the standard for them of getting feedback as a player, because most of these players were sub 16.
Yeah.
There was a few soon to be seniors, but really a lot of 14-year-olds, 13, 14, 15-year-olds at this camp, which was super cool. But the questions that maybe they could be asking is, vision through any game, dance, hockey, softball, basketball. Vision is probably one of the hardest things to acquire if you're not just innately a visionary person, seeing everything on the field, knowing what the lineup is, knowing what happened last time, knowing the space in the field. This corner's deeper than this corner. This shortstop likes to feed this. Like, there's so many different things visionary-wise. But the question I wanted to ask to try to prompt better questions is, what is something I can do at the plate in situations to be a better hitter? Or what are some things I can do on defense from a visual standpoint of knowing how do I better learn the lineup so as a defender I can position myself better? Do I need to worry about my positioning? All those kinds of questions become a little more dynamic, because also what that's going to do too, and when I was coaching, is I want to know how much knowledge do you have of the game or
Yeah.
the sport that you're playing. I don't care what it is. I'm not in dance. I don't know technique, but being around a lot of dancers, it's like I can spot talent and I can help them ask better questions and see some of the areas of their sport that they can be better at. But, asking some of those questions to learn more. I want them, how much do you know about the game, but how much are you willing to learn about the game?
Yeah.
And sometimes you ask those questions and that alone will have, you'll put, you might not be a leadoff hitter or a 3-hole hitter. You might not have the strongest arm, but if you have the knowledge of the game and the willingness to learn, be coachable, and you ask those questions, some of those coaches are going to go, ooh, you weren't on my radar.
Yeah.
You are now, because you're asking better questions. So that was something that a couple of the coaches talked about. It's like, man, I love being here, and it's so fun to hear what they're going to ask. But a lot of times it's like, how do we get them to ask better questions?
Right.
And that was like, bang, we
Yeah.
need to talk about that.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing on that is at a camp like that, and it's really similar to a combine, or that's kind of the style that I think would compare to it mostly. But you're getting to actually work with the coaches, and so there was a time where this one player was wanting the extra reps and asking this coach for assistance and okay, can you give me this? Can you give me that? And her teammates are like, oh, don't ask her again because she'll keep going all day. And the coach is like, okay. And so just making sure that you are putting your best foot forward, not only in a question or getting to talk to them while you're getting a water break, but
I still remember her name.
Yeah. But in action. And showing them what you would be like to be coached.
Yeah.
Because that also, not only are you trying to make yourself look good to the coach, but are you going to get along with their coaching style? That's the only time that you're going to get in front of a coach that isn't really your coach,
Right.
and be able to experience that before you're on the team. And then you get there and you're like, oh, we don't vibe coaching style wise. And then you'll only get those opportunities so many times. Just
And
lead by action.
I got to introduce the Pure Athlete and what we were doing there, supporting them. And so they let me speak before camp started. And it was one of the coaches spoke before me. He was just kind of giving them the rundown and was kind of one of the alpha coaches there, if you will, and just was kind of putting them at ease, but giving them some expectations of what to expect and how to act. And it's very important for those kids, because a lot of people say, oh, they should know how to act, they should know how to carry themselves. And it's like, they don't.
No.
They really don't.
No.
Because they're either biased from a parent perspective, or they're biased from a coach perspective, or a goal-oriented perspective. And at the end of the day, they forget to be people. And even as athletes, you get into that mode. It's like, man, I got to prove, I got to show out, I've got to lead, I've got to, I can't make mistakes. And that's not always true.
Right.
At the end of the day, sometimes coaches will look, and he was kind of saying this along this lines, is like, if you make a mistake, you boot a ball, we want to know how you respond to that.
Right.
We look at, and this is one of the things I appreciated, we look at, if I come to one of your games, and I'm going to give you guys, he said, I'm going to give you guys the cheat code right now, is how you respond after you leave here. Are you just going to throw your bag at your parents' feet and let them carry it for you? We look at that.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of refreshing, because it's all things that we talk about. It's like, yeah, we don't have to show up to a camp to look at a statistics sheet.
Exactly.
We can look at all of your performances and your scores and your averages and all of your statistics. We can find that. We don't need to show up and see you. We can make a decision based on paper. But that's why they go to camps. They're not really looking to be like, man, she hit that ball 330 feet, man. That was like 400. That was almost 400 feet of home run right there. That's not exactly what they're looking for. So I got up and spoke too, and I was like, just like Coach said, it's how you are acting, how you carry yourself through this. I was like, be genuinely yourself, but pick each other up. Like, you are not here competing against each other.
Right.
I was like, you've got 16, 18 schools here. I was like, there is a spot for every single one of you if you truly want it.
Right.
There's plenty of schools out there, and 100% of you can play. But 100% of you can rule yourselves out based on how you act, how you respond, how you don't lead, how you don't become interactive as a team. A lot of you girls might not know each other, but it doesn't mean you can't ass slap and high five and pick each other up, or, help somebody out or cheer them on. It's like, those things matter.
Yeah.
How you carry yourself as a person matters. But it's so easy in those environments to get that tunnel vision and put those blinders on, like, ooh, I got to perform for the stat sheet.
Right.
It's not what they're looking for all the time in these scenarios. Now, glove work, we're on softball, so I'm just speaking to softball. But so let me refrain or
The
let
skills.
me retain or kind of readjust my verbiage here. But yeah, looking at the skills and the technique of whatever camp, whatever sport, there's people that are going to stand out.
Right.
Those things are like, wow, like fast, quick, coordinated, like those things are going to show out. But if that person boots a ball and huffs and puffs and throws their bag at their parents' feet or secludes themselves or aren't talking, it's like, I'll take a C player with A effort all day long and coachability, and that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a lot, but like you never know who's watching. And I've heard of coaches for all kinds of sports when it comes to their recruiting time and the going to see like potential athletes as they go, not dressed in anything school related. They go to a game that might be a blowout on purpose to see, okay, well, how are they going to handle a blowout?
Yeah.
How are they going to handle being on the good side of a blowout? How are they going to handle on the bad side of being a blowout? And not making it like I'll be at your game this time. So then you put on an act.
Yeah.
And you just never know who's watching. You never know whose sibling or family member is going to be a coach one day and you're going to have to look at them in the eye again. And just making sure that whoever you're meeting, you're putting your best self, like you were saying, forward, and not just in an athlete sense, just as a human sense.
And another thing along the kind of the recruiting process and the communication process is teaching these kids how to email. Like that is like, you want to get noticed, ask. Like if man,
Get in front of them.
I hope, Oklahoma State comes today, or, I hope Ohio State comes today. I hope Minnesota comes. I hope Alabama. Like, you can hope all you want, but there's so many athletes out there. They want to know who's interested. If you have interest in a program, tell them that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, parents, sit down with them and help them write the email.
Yeah.
Don't send it for them.
Right.
Let them do that, because there's a lot of the responses too. And here's the thing with that is you want to respond accordingly. You want to spell check. You want to use proper grammar. You don't have to be all over the top. Oh, coach, sir, may I please? Like, no. It's like, hey, coach, be efficient with what you're saying. They don't want some long paragraph. They might have a lot of emails too.
One of them said, keep it short.
Yeah, keep it short, to the point. We're not going to judge you for that. We will look at spelling. Don't call us bro. Don't say period. Don't don't use all the slang words, right? I legit want to play for you.
Hope we can slay together.
Yeah, I'd love to help your team slay. I think I'd be a great fit. Period. Like, teach them how to write an email and structure that, and finding where do you go on the website to find the right person. And even sending a pre-email. Hey, I'm interested in this program. Is the coach the one to reach out for? Like, email the administration. Like, they have people that can filter that for you because oftentimes you'll send it to the coach. And I'll be honest, like, a lot of those head coaches, they get the emails they need to get.
Yeah.
There's either somebody filtering them, or they have a special inbox that stuff goes into. I'll be super honest with you. But if you go to the administration side, a secretary side, an athletic director side, that's another hack that a lot of these kids and even parents don't know about.
Yeah.
Send a preemptive email saying, hey, I or my student athlete, should be I, and the parent can help them, but I'm interested in your program. I want to learn more about the school. I play these sports or this sport. Ask this question,
Who
literally.
is the coach?
Is the coach the best person to email?
Yeah.
Or is there a secretary or somebody that can make sure my email gets seen? Use that verbiage.
Yeah.
Use that line, because not always is the head coach going to get it.
Right.
So teach them how to do that. But here's the other thing with that is, if they respond to you, always respond to them. I firmly believe this is when you get to have the last word. Like, always kids are like, you always have the last word. It's like, me parent, you kid, shush. And then they have, well, fine. That's the last word. Shush. Okay. That was the last. It's like, stop.
Yeah.
This is the one time, kids, athletes, you get to have the last word. Hey, yes, this would be the best email. Thank you. You email the coach, you send back, thank you, I appreciate it. You get to have the last word.
Right.
Because they're all going to talk to each other. And if they send you an email and giving you an update, hey, if you're interested, we have a camp on this date. It's open. You're more than welcome. It's $195 to come. Just wanted to keep you in the loop. You could let that and read that and be like, oh, cool. Yeah, I want to go. Respond to the email.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, thank you. Super interested. I'm filling that out now. Have the last word, because a lot of these coaches might do that strategically, and they all talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like, even the small community college to the D1 NIA, like, you think just because they're at a community college, You know, it's like when Lindenwood here, before they went D1, like their football coach, Jed, guy knows people.
Yeah.
Like coaches in the NFL, coaches at big D1 schools, like knows people. So if you think these little schools, oh, they talk.
Yeah.
And so be aware of that.
Yeah, and I think the biggest like just thing in recruiting is just to like start it. It's not too early, especially in now's times.
Yeah.
Like recruiting is such a thing that has to start like when you're 14 and you're 15, and especially in dance, recruiting wasn't a thing back when I was choosing in college. I think it would have been a little easier if it was all these like combines and all of these things, but like now you're in high school and you should be looking at colleges and you should be getting in front of coaches. And if that means you go to their family and friends or their combines, their clinics, like all of these things, go and talk to the coach. Don't just go and be like, I hope she sees me back here. I hope he sees me back here. Walk up and say like, hi, my name's Erin. I'm interested in your school. Here's my email. I would love more information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just have it ready. And one of the other coaches there said like, when you send an email, also send film, send video, send picture, not really for the, like, depending on the sport, but send things so that they know, like, they can look at you. And it's not just a blank email with no action. You have to give an action in an email for you to get a response.
And here's a brave action in an email to be seen as far as giving content and giving pictures.
Another one. Keep going.
Send your social media handles. And a lot of you out there, or a lot of you parents out there, and be, oh man, I don't know what they're going to see. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because
they will look.
12, 13, 14 years old, you know, as they get more into that stuff, like you're not going to keep them away from it. Like some parents do, kudos to you. But at the end of the day, like they'll find a way to get on it whether you know it or not.
Right.
But you as an athlete or you as a parent, send the social media handles. And if you're a little queasy about that, then you know you have work to do.
Yeah.
You know, because they are going to look at that. They're going to look at the TikToks. And here's the other hack for you too, is they're going to look at who else you follow.
Yeah.
What are you taking in? Are you taking in dumb stuff? Are you taking in vulgar things? Are you taking, like, what are you taking in? So they're going to send your social media handles, but it's also kind of me giving some action for y'all to be like, just know and clean it up now. Now you have the time now.
Yeah. And especially like on the collegiate front, like going from high school to college, the NIL game is so large right now that your social media has to be cleaned up. And they're almost making it a way where, like, if you want to have an NIL, you need to have a following before you even start it.
Yep.
And so cleaning up your social media is now when you're 12, 10, 5.
Yeah.
Cleaning it up now so that whenever you are a collegiate athlete, you have a platform to use and to advocate and to do all the good things that social media can do, and having that going before you're even on campus.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So I've got 3 kids, 3, 5, and 7. And you guys haven't heard about this yet, but this literally happened this weekend. So, Erica was at the beach without us.
Yes,
and
rude.
I had the kids. Kenton asked me one day, he's like, Dad, and they know about YouTube. They know about these things. Like, you're not going to hide it from them. And he goes, I think I want to post some hockey stuff on YouTube. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, well, I think it'd just be fun to talk about, like, I could talk about racing, I could talk about hockey. And I'm like, this fucking kid. I'm like, he gets it. Like, I haven't taught him any of this. Like, my whole take in sports right now is I'm not pushing them to do anything.
Right.
Like, he finally knocked down my door to get in his quarter midget and learn how to drive.
Right.
There he went. We put them into hockey, and they decided, like,
they love
we have
hockey.
practice tomorrow, right? They were at Grandma's last week, and I was like, I told Kim, I said, she's like, are we doing hockey Sunday morning? And I was like, I want them to. I was like, I want them to be consistent with it, but I said, ask them, see what they say. And about 30 seconds later, she's like, Kenton said, yes, absolutely. And I was like, well, you don't have to tell me what Leighton says. He's just going to have to go. And then Papu, text me, and he goes, no, he's in. He said he wants to go. And I'm like, but then Kenton's like, he's like, I see all these kids do other things with like toys and stuff. He's like, but I think I could talk about hockey or racing or, and maybe like post it to YouTube or something. And I'm like, okay, so this kid's far beyond his years already. And so it's things like that you can do. There's nothing wrong with creating a social media platform for yourself, because as we learned a while back, and we're still learning and we're still growing our own, like, we're not big in this space yet.
Right.
We're going to be.
Yeah.
We're working on our personal brand to get there, because, having followers on this is super cool, but as our personal brand grows, this is also going to grow.
Yeah.
So just knowing that your personal brand, like you said, 5 years old, 7 years
Yeah.
old, it's already starting, and we're going to start posting stuff to Kenton and Leighton's Instagrams
Yeah.
and things like that. And it's not because we think we're better than everybody else, or they're going to go pro, but at the same time, if that's something they decide they want to do, they are way ahead of the field.
Yeah.
And it's there. And if nothing else, it's memories.
Right.
So use the memories you have now, clean up your stuff. It's either going to be there as memories, or it's going to be there as assets. Either way, it's a win.
Yeah.
But you can leverage that.
Right. And I think a lot of people they like have that thought, not at 7. They're, we already knew
Yeah.
Kim Man's wise beyond his
Yes.
years. But when people have the thought when they're in their early 20s, 14, 15, 16, and they want to be online and create a brand, they are like so gung-ho about it, and then they think about what other people are going to think. And what I'm here to tell you is, if they're not going to cheer you on from the sidelines or be with you, then they need to get out.
Yep.
And if they're not going to support what you're posting and the things that you're advocating for, like we post all the time about advocating for student athletes, like that's something that we wake up thinking about and go to bed thinking about. And if someone's not going to support that, and you posting that to make awareness for it, then they don't deserve a seat at the table.
Right.
And so just remembering that, it's a hard thing to learn whenever you're in a high school setting. But just know that if you think that now, they're going
Right.
to catch up. They'll understand.
You're going to have people that are going to do exactly this. So let me jump to the end game. Exactly what you're talking about is, you're going to have people talk shit about you and be like, "Can you believe she posted that?" Like,
Yeah.
da, 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 and they're going to critique that. And kind of exactly to what you were saying, you're going to have that, and you can't hear it.
Right.
Because you're going to let them determine your future based on their feelings of inadequacy about themselves. And here's what I mean about that. More people are going to want to keep you where they want you
Yeah.
for themselves, because they're afraid if you do succeed, you'll forget them forever.
Right.
Which is not the case. Maybe you should, and maybe that will happen because that's deserved.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those kind of people need to realize, like, the elevator door's open. You either get on it or don't. And just because my elevator's going up and you didn't get on, doesn't mean I'm not going to come back down and see you in the lobby.
Right.
Like, I'm going to know who you are. I'm going to remember you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, as you start to post this, they will be critical. And maybe you don't get a lot of likes at the beginning. It's not about that. It's about the consistency of doing it and putting it out there. But you're going to learn, like you said, you're going to learn who those people are. But a lot of people want to keep you where they feel they want you to be for themselves, so they don't feel inadequate about themselves, that they're failing, they're not doing more, or they're afraid that you're going to forget them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think a lesson that my dad always said, which I never believed, obviously, you're in high school, is
who's the first two people kids don't listen to?
literally example A. Hello, nice to meet you.
Parents and then their coaches.
But like he would always tell my brother and me that like at the end of the day, you're gonna have a handful of friends, like 5 friends that you can really count on. Because in high school you're trying out different things. You're trying out different sports, different friend groups. You get girls especially, there's drama and the gossip and all the things, and like what you have to remember is at the end of the day, the people who are going to be at your table, the 5 people that you take in the most are going to show themselves in some way. And to not think that that's a thing on you that people aren't at your table anymore.
Right.
There are circle tables for a reason. There's long tables for a reason. And at some point, there's going to be the 5 people that you're going to intake the most that are going to influence, and they're going to cheer you on about all of the things that we're talking about.
People are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And you're also the average of the 5 people you're around most. I truly believe that, and that's why I try to hold myself to a higher standard. And I try to lead whatever group I'm in, but I'm also try to be around people who are much farther or have achieved what I'm looking for as well. And I think there's multiple circles that you can have. It's like a Venn diagram.
Yeah.
I talk about my circle being an oval, and there's 3 different ovals across that. And it's, one to lead, one to learn from, and then also one that's like your big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yeah.
So there's 3 different ovals that I try to keep, and they're not that big, and it's okay. But there's a lot of people in the stands, and that's great too.
Right.
There's as we wrap this up, let's kind of go through just kind of rapid fire improv.
Let's give some points.
Some of the things right off the bat that can help with communication, recruitment. One of the things is eye contact and shaking a hand. Well, two things. Sorry. First 2 points.
1.5.
Yeah. Shaking a hand and eye contact. Not in any order. We're not going in any order here. Big deal. It's like some people get so awkward and nervous when, they shake a hand. Be the first one to stick out your hand, and don't shake a hand and then look down. It's like, hey, thank you for being here. Like, you can always lead with a thank you. Hey, coach, thank you for being here. And look them right in the eye and say that, and it opens up the conversation. And chances are you're going to be like, what's your name? And now the conversation just goes. It's not that hard to strike up a conversation because if they're there for you. If you don't talk to a few coaches that are there, you don't have to talk to all 20 or 30, however many are there. But if the ones that you have your eyes on are the ones that you think you know, and maybe you're not even thinking about going to that school, but if you enjoyed an interaction or a relationship with a coach during that camp, during that recruitment process, during whatever it is, shake their hand, meet a few of them. If you don't, you're making a big mistake.
Yeah. I think following that, the other one would just be getting in front of them, making the ask. It kind of goes together. Like getting in front of them, making the ask, sending the email, attending the things.
Because if there is a recruitment process that you want to go to, find it.
Yeah.
Because maybe that like I said, that school might not just magically show up.
Right.
So reach out, make that.
Go to things. Go to the clinics.
Yeah, go to some of their games.
Yeah, go to games. Go to even in their off-season stuff. Like find out when they're going to hit the field or they're going to be practicing and they don't have a game. Go to that.
Here's one thing I'm going to make my kids do. It'll be fun because they have the personalities like their mom, and they like me. I would have been too shy to do it, and I'd have regretted not doing it. But here's something that just came off the top of my head that I'm going to make them do. We're going to go to these games. Like, say they end up wanting to play hockey, and they want to go to the next level. It's like, okay, what hockey team you want to go to? Well, of course, you got to put in Denver, Minnesota, North Dakota, Boston College. Like I can name all those great schools that play hockey. So I'm just going to use them. That's the kind of the standard of hockey and collegiate sports. So say they want to go up to Minnesota. It's like, okay, I'm going to make them have a sign that says, hey, you're going to recruit me in 5 years.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
They'd be like, holy shit. You think that's going to get some airtime? Probably. You think that's going to circulate on social media? Yes. You think the coach is going to see it?
Yeah.
Yes. He's in the freaking stands. So what do? You buy a seat across from the coach's bench, and you hold up a sign that says, hey, you're going to want to recruit me in 5 years.
Yeah.
Ha.
Yeah. That just made me think of, like, by the time I got to Lindenwood, everyone already knew me. Because I had so many people above me, like in age and just who I danced with before, that had gone there, and I was at everything. I was at every family and friends, every game, and social little me would just walk up to the coach and act like I knew them already. And by the time that I got there, there'd been through 3 coaches, but every single one of them had seen my face before.
How many athletes would you say probably want to go to like Florida to go to school?
Oh gosh, everyone.
How many of those athletes do you think vacation in Florida on a yearly basis?
Everyone.
How many schools are down there that they could probably catch a game, a dance, a performance to on a day when they're on vacation? They take 3 hours and go to a game, performance, whatever.
At least 5 I'm thinking of right now.
It's like, it's so easy.
Yeah.
And these are all things, and I'm just coming off the top here, and this is fun for me. I'm a big visionary. I like to brainstorm these things because my kids are coming up to do that.
Yeah.
And so those will be things we can do. We're leaving this week to go down to Alabama. And it's like, okay, well, maybe, God, when they're
Let's go to Roll Tide.
14, 15, maybe they want to go to Alabama. My great uncle went to Alabama. I'm not a big Alabama, Auburn. I don't get into all that. You want to go figure it out? On our way down, we'll take 2 extra days.
Right.
We'll go to Auburn, and then we'll go to Alabama,
Yeah.
and maybe when we go back, we'll circle through Georgia, or we'll go to Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Like,
Yeah.
it's easy stuff to do. It's a few hours.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah, just add
in
the
front.
things in. Yeah, add the things in, get in front of them. It doesn't matter how young, how old, because yes, like 7 now, but they're gonna know that. Like if you say, hey, do you remember me? Like I was the kid who had the sign that said you're gonna recruit me in 5 years. Well, it's been 5 years, so here's my film.
What an ESPN story that would be.
Like that's so cool. And if I was the coach and the receiving, and I'd be like, okay, well, you start tomorrow.
I gotta at least watch it.
Yeah,
I gotta
exactly.
at least
Like
view it.
yeah, you gotta follow the dream and follow up with all of those things that you want to do.
If I saw that, I would open that email every time.
Yeah.
If I saw that sign and be like, I'd make sure that our last name was on it and be like, you're gonna recruit me in 5 years. Boston.
Yeah.
And that be it. And then if I saw that in the stands, be like, look at this guy. That's freaking cool. Good for him.
It's so cool.
5 years later, I get an email being like, said you'd recruit me,
Yeah.
Boston.
Yep.
I'm opening that email
Oh, yeah.
every time.
Yep.
Every time. What else? How to structure an email.
Yeah, how to structure an
How
email.
to be concise.
How to talk to
Something
someone.
I'm not good at.
Yeah. How to talk to someone not through a screen. How to actually go up to them and it kind of links to the first one, shake their hand and stuff.
When you communicate, learning more about them than you want to tell about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Learn
a
about the
core.
school. Yeah.
Ask them questions.
Mm-hmm.
You answer the questions and then always respond with, "Did your kids play sports here?
Mm-hmm.
Are you from the state originally?" Ask, get to learn more about them.
Yeah.
Create rapport, create relationship. Don't just be a ask hole.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I promise you.
Yes.
Don't just be an asshole. Learn. I mean, come into relationship with people because you might never know. Like, you might get a heartbreaking email saying, "Hey, unfortunately, don't have a spot for you on this team." Now, you could take that as one way. If you make a good enough relationship, they're probably going to say, "However, you might want to contact this coach."
Yeah, I was just gonna say, ask them for where else. Where do you think I would be best fit?
And if they don't offer that,
Yeah.
then ask them that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But learning how to structure an email, shake a hand, eye contact, make the ask, be present, show up, do the things, structure an email.
Yep. Follow up with your words with action. If you do get to get in front of them and do your sport, your trade, whatever, show them that you are the fit.
Make your list of questions.
Mm-hmm. Be prepared.
Ask better questions, get better answer. Make your list of questions. Have 10 questions on the ready all day long. Memorize them. Know them in order. Ask them. I mean, those are good right off the bat.
Yeah.
I mean, we can really hone down and do more of we can do another episode on really honing in on recruitment and things like that if we want to go through and do that, or if you guys have interest in that. We've got a lot of great resources with that. We can probably get a guest on too, speaking on all different kinds of recruitment, because if you talk to one coach, you've talked to most of them, and it doesn't matter which sport it is, so they all are like-minded, whether it's from dance to hockey to baseball. Like, they're all going to have some sort of template of, they're all looking for the same things.
Yeah.
They're still dealing with people.
Yeah, exactly.
We say it all the time. They're still dealing with people. So, cool. Anything else?
No, that was a good one.
Awesome. I love that stuff. There's so many things I'd like to be in, like a different life or do
I
again.
know.
Broadcaster, like high-end recruit or scout, like recruit kids. But I think honestly I'm doing one of the ones I don't think I'd love anymore. And it's like teaching these kids and these parents how to be successful doing that, showing a different perspective. So I don't wish I could do something different. If you made me do something different, those would be some of the things. But this stuff's fun to talk about because it's so much bigger than just go out there and fill the stat sheet. So, all right. Well, vacation time for us.
Let's go.
We'll be off next week. We will be uploading another podcast next week still, staying consistent as we always talk about. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. See ya.